And now for something completely different.
There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? And what did we learn? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
The Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking, where we talk about everything else. Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, Just Thinking. Today is the 2nd of December, 2025. We are just 29 days from wrapping up another year, the year 2025. Doesn't seem possible. This year's flew by. Anyhow, folks, sorry about that. Why does it feel really good, then all of a sudden I get on this mic and I start, I don't know, but it did. Coming to you live, we're recording live, I should say, from our Northern Command Center up here in Enterprise, Utah. And last week, I did a couple podcasts, and we were talking about, well, I was discussing and trying to, in my head, get the topic of how do we deal with Islam, how do we deal with our Constitution, how do we deal with Western civilization, and how do we deal with mixing all this together and not violate people's rights when they want to have a religion such as Islam, but not allow Islam to take and destroy our Western civilization and way of life, especially here in America, because we do have the thing called the Constitution. And so I've wrestled with this just a little bit, thinking about it, there's got to be a solution, and the answer is not for everybody out there, even though I talked a little bit, is the answer this, is the answer that, should we do this? The answer is not violating somebody who's here, born and raised, or legally here, that wants to worship in the manner of whatever. The First Amendment is all about your freedom to worship a religion. Now, that's very important, and that's something we have to talk about. The First Amendment talks about the freedom of religion, to let you worship how you choose, how you feel, your religion, how you decide to worship your God. Now, I've been pretty harsh on Islam because I don't believe it is a religion of peace, but I have to take and modify that just a little bit. There are Muslims out there who are Reform Muslims. In other words, the Reformation has come to them that the ways of the Sharia law interpretations are not valid in the 21st century. For something like that, we have to agree. We have to say, I believe you're correct. I think we're right on that. So how do we go about this where we don't allow an ideology such as Islam to take and damage our Western civilization, our Constitution, our United States of America, because they want to change things? Okay. Well, there's the key there, and, hearing people talk about this and trying to get it in my head, how do we go about this? Of course, the thing I didn't do is do the obvious. And the obvious is to look at the Constitution and what our founding fathers gave us. First Amendment, the freedom of religion to worship as you please, It's a religion thing. It gives you the right to worship in a religious manner. Unfortunately, the bad part is what we see in media, what we see transpiring out there, is the people who believe in Sharia law, who want to invade this country, overthrow it, overthrow our Constitution, and instill and force everybody into Sharia law. That's not a religion. That is a political, if you want to call it, a political movement dressed up as a religion. Do we have the ability to do something about that? I say yes. I believe that when you develop a political belief system and try to use any form of religion or any form of no religion, and it's a political movement. Now, remember, the Constitution doesn't protect you in a political movement. It protects your freedom of speech. You can believe what you want, but when you take actions against our nation, against our Constitution, against everything that we've believed in for 250 years in this country, you are declaring war on America, and your movement needs to be destroyed. We do not accept revolutionaries who want to destroy this nation and instill what I believe to be a pagan ideology on America. So how do we go about this now? You know, we have to get together with people that are like-minded and reject fully the ideology of Sharia law Islamists. Who are those people that would do it? There are tons of people who have come to this country to escape that ideology in all over the Muslim world, especially from places like Syria, Iran, just name off a few. They escaped it because they wanted to come to America to be able to say and worship God the way they wanted to, but they're not interested in a political movement. They just want to take and be Americans and worship the way they want to. Now, see, I have no problem with that whatsoever. I have no problem with Buddhists worshiping how they want, as long as they say, but I'm an American. I'm assimilated into America. I just go to church differently. I just go to mosque, or I go to synagogue, or I go to temple, or I go to whatever, different from you. But I am an American. And I believe 100% in the Constitution of the United States. And I believe in 100% the laws of the land. And I reject 100% Sharia law and the Islamists, fascist terrorists that want to perpetuate that into this country. Welcome to America. Enjoy your stay, and may God bless you in your endeavors. That's the people we want. We have people from all over the country, the Kurds from, northern Iraq. A bunch of them have come here to escape ISIS and all the other terrorist groups that are in that area. We should throw the door open to those people. We should throw the doors open to anybody who has rejected the ideology of Sharia law and the terrorism that comes with it, and allow those people to point out the others and work with them and say, okay, so who are these people? Because you recognize them quicker than any one of us. I'm sorry to say this, but as Americans, we hear, the Sharia law guys talk. We group all of you Muslims into one big group. You're all terrorists. You all need to leave. That is just a natural knee-jerk reaction we all have because we understand, and those of us that understand Sharia law, we have that natural reaction. You're coming into our country to screw with it. We want you gone. So we need to work with these people that are anti-Sharia law and pro-reformist Muslims. And we need to root out every individual, every group, every dollar, every organization that wants to take and promote Sharia law as being the future of this nation. It will never be the future of this nation. If you keep pushing the American people are not England. We are not Europe. You keep pushing us, we're going to finally say, well, we'll give you a analogy that you can understand. You've just put one too many straws on the camel's back, and now we're pissed, and we're going to cleanse this nation of all of you. That is not what we need to do. We need to cleanse this nation of those with the ideology of Sharia law, Islamist, fascist, crazy people. Outlawing Sharia law, outlawing Islamists, fascists, whatever you want to call them, the radical element of Islam does not violate the Constitution. The Constitution gives us power to remove the people that want to take and overthrow our Constitution. See, it's already there, people. It's already prepared by our founding fathers. 200 and almost 50 years ago, these guys figured this out and said, here's the blueprint, follow this. Our problem is we don't use the Constitution to stop those who want to destroy our Constitution. Are we afraid to do that? Let's just say there's 1 million Muslims living in this country. I have no idea how many there are. What is the percentage of that are Sharia law Islamists? I'm not sure about that either. But we can work with those who are reformist Muslims and are Americans, and we can root these people out and get rid of them. Because I don't care if your parents came here and they were part of that movement and you were born here, we can revoke your citizenship and send you back to whatever shithole you came from. Because that's where you belong. If you decide you want to take and violate our Constitution, our rights, our liberties, our freedoms, and impose, under penalties of death, your ideology, the war is on. And you have to remember something very simply. Look at America. Look at how many people Americans kill of our own all the time in this country. Look at the wars that have been fought around the world. How many people in this world have been killed by Americans? We are the greatest killing force in this world has ever seen. Do you think a couple 100,000 or 500,000 or 1 million of you Islamist Sharia law 7th century barbarians stand a chance against us? You think that you can physically take us on and have victory? If you do, good luck with that. Ask the Indians how that worked for them. Ask the Germans how it worked for them. Ask the Japanese how it worked for them. Ask the Mexicans how it worked for them. Ask the Spanish how it worked for them. Ask England how it worked for them twice. Do not be afraid of these people just because they chant that they're going to do stuff with death to America and stuff like that. You say death to America, you should be gone. You should be instantly pack your bags, you're gone. On the plane, and we're going to fly over your country. Here's your parachute, and throw them out, and maybe forget to pack the parachute. I'm not sure. I don't really care about that. I don't care for much of the stuff that goes on with religions and how people try to hide behind religions and say, but our religion helps validate our position. We've seen that too many times, even in this country. Hold on, folks. Sorry, folks. I had to put it on pause for a minute because I heard a knock at the door. And I'm glad I answered. It was one of the neighbors from up here in Enterprise who came by and said Merry Christmas and handed us some homemade fresh hot brownies. So I'm going to go to work on those in just a little bit. And now I can't remember where I left off. So anyways, I know we're about where I was, about what we were talking with. We have to take and work with people that understand who the evil Islamists are. And we have to work with them to get these people out of this country. We cannot fear or be afraid of the peaceful Muslims. There are peaceful Muslims. But we cannot tolerate Islamists or Sharia law Muslims. They need to be shut down and removed from this country and sent back wherever they came from. And if they're born here, raised here, been here for a couple of generations, and they spout this stuff, and they have vowed to do the same thing in this country and turn it into a Sharia law country, that is called treason or sedition. We have laws to deal with that too. And we have this really cool place called Guantanamo Bay to put them. We don't have to tolerate with political movements, regardless how they're dressed up in religious garb. We don't put up with Ku Klux Klan, the Democrat Party terrorist organization, and when them claiming to be Christians, we know they're not. All of us who are Christian look at them and go, no, there's nothing about your movement that's Christianity. You've grabbed a couple verses out of a Bible and say this justifies you in your racist ideology. It doesn't. You're still racist, and you're going against the Constitution of the United States. And you're not Christian. So there. Don't allow people to use religion or disguise their movements and say, I have the right to do this because it's my religion. Now, if you want to worship, and your job is to go to church, your mosque, whatever, and worship, you're not allowed to come and tell me I have to worship like you. You can invite me to worship like you, but you can't tell me I have to under penalty of taxation, killing me, harming me, anything like that. That's when your religion is no longer religion. It's a political movement. We have to start using the Constitution to stop the spread of Marxism. those people who espouse implementing socialism and communism in this country and overthrowing the government, they are no different than the Islamists or the Sharia law Muslims. Founding fathers gave us everything we need to stop this madness. I know the Democrat Party embraces the madness. The Democrat Party embraces Sharia law Muslims because they love violence and tyranny. They embrace Marxism because they love violence and tyranny. Democrats are worse than any of these groups because they should know better. And they don't. And they like violence. They like death. Democrat Party is a death cult. Stand with the people who are standing against the crazy people. And all of us surround the crazy people and get them out of here. And don't be afraid to use the laws of the land in our Constitution to stop their desire to have their so-called belief system instilled in America. We won't let you. And if you think we will, like I said, look at the history of the American people dealing with tyranny. You'll be the same as all of the other ones. Anyhow, folks, appreciate you listening. Listen to my podcast. I have 3 podcasts. This is just one of them. The others are It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hay Show, where we talk about entertainment. I also have Main Street, the Craig L. Hay Show, where we talk to people who in the community about their lives and what they do in the community. So anyhow, folks, it's been a pleasure having you here, and stand by for some more coming from me. You've been listening to the Craig L. Hay Show. Just thinking.